So I'm going to try to do something more out of my norm and increase my courage and just go with the flow. So I'm going to do my video unscripted. What comes out, comes out. It might be talk, it might be singing. Don't be surprised. I am feeling, I don't know, inspired, I guess. You know, feeling reliable, undeniable, unstoppable, irresistible, can't stop this, keep going when my passion is bliss. God's got me and he's watching this, and I just gonna hit it like it is it. He's got his hand on me, I am anointed. God has chosen me for the appointment, and I'm about to answer my calling. Let's see what happens from here on out. I don't know what's gonna do, but I'm gonna do what I gotta do, cause it's time for me to be the star that I'm supposed to be. Time to shine, time to rise above the crowd. I'm about to show you what it is to be me. See? Keep writing down things that I want to write or say in these things, and I end up shaky and having a hard time reading my own things, so which is easier to go unscripted and let it be. God has seen what has been done to me behind the scenes and in front of me. What type of life I have seen and what I've been through: devastation, travesty, trials and tribulations, miles of humiliation. Nothing you can ever imagine. Granted, my patience got me waiting, keep me seeing. I'm positive because this is my being. Truth be told, that's my authority. Authenticity is my desire. Shazbot. Anyways, yeah, no, I'll tell you a little bit about me, I guess. First things first, I absolutely love myself. Why? Well, reality is I've never experienced real love, so somebody gotta love me, so I might as well love myself, right? I mean, of course, there's God, the unconditional, but that's unconditional, and that's what it's supposed to be. That's traditional, and then, another thing is, I don't care what the fuck anybody thinks about me. I stopped caring when I was, in 3rd grade, when so many things were just said to me, and I was treated, a certain way, and I was outcasted, and blah, 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 this, that, and third. Kids, they can be cruel. Oh, well. And I went home, and I looked in the mirror, and I saw something beautiful. I didn't see what they were saying about me. I saw the real me, I guess. The real me, the heart of me, the pure me, the one that just wants her light to shine and show love to the fucking world. I mean, everybody deserves to experience real love at some point or another. I feel sad for anybody that doesn't get to experience any love at all, because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not experiencing love, except for that unconditional love from God above. It's sad. But you know what? It is what it is. It's a testament of time. I mean, I tried being in relationships and whatever, and the same scenarios happened over and over again. Of course, narcissistic situations. This is how it, this is my lessons. My lessons are my blessings. And you know what? I love everybody and everything I have ever been through and gone through, because you know what? I would not be the person I am right now if it was not for the lessons I had gone through. And instead of letting these things break me and make me cold and destroy me, I choose to keep my heart loving even more, because I don't want anybody to ever feel half the shit I've been through. I don't like how it made me feel. Why would I want to make anybody feel that way? It's just cruel intentions, wicked, People are, insane. Anyways, when it's come to love and relationships, I could say that I never experienced a good relationship. And everybody either cheated abused, lied to me, taken advantage of me, mistaken my kindness for weakness, mistreated me, mistrusted me, doubted me, denied me. You know, I could do a million things right and they'd see the 2 things I was doing wrong, and those million things right would go unseen, you know? And so, me being myself, reality is clearly I must know my self-worth, because I've ended every relationship I've ever been in. Because somewhere inside me, no matter what mind frame those relationships had put me in, at some point or another I grew to realize that I deserve better. I don't deserve to be treated like that. I am far too good of a person to be treated the way I was treated in some of these cases. The worst one was a fucking 4-year-long fucking Shazbot relationship. I'll tell you right now, there's 8 forms of abuse. I know what all 8 forms of those feel like, and that's just from that one relationship. I mean, the shit that... And that 4-year relationship came after being single 5 years, because I just didn't know, like, if I even wanted to even try to be with somebody for the longest time. And during that 5 years, of course, once again, I came to love myself more and more, and learned to really love myself even then. And then, finally, I decided to let somebody in. After that 5 years of nothing. Now I'm 28 years old when this happened. And the guy wasn't even somebody that I would normally go for. He wasn't even my type, but there was something that seemed sincere, seemed kind, you know, open doors, very gentlemanly, very courteous, you know. A real fucking, one of those all show and, what is it, a sociopath? When they're like that, and then, you know, their narcissistic side comes out, like, within time. By 5 months into the relationship, I knew it wasn't going to work. Now, mind you, I went for somebody that I wouldn't have gone for. I'm sorry, the truth be told, that's not what I'm into, but I thought maybe because he was so different than what I usually go for, aka my type, which, by the way, apparently my type is a certain look that is a narcissist underneath. But anyways, that's besides the point. And he put me through hell. Now, mind you, back when I was 21, or actually I was 20, and I had gotten back together with a guy I had dated in high school who left me when I was 17 because I was a virgin, and initially I wouldn't put out. I was literally trying to save myself for marriage, and, you know, my idea dream life would have been to get married, have 3 kids, a house, a yard, a dog, cat, you know, pets, and just live that, you know, home life, whatever, the housewife status, I guess, or the caregiver, the one that, you know, cooks, cleans, does the laundry, you know, gives her man a nice drink when he walks through the door at night because he had a hard day at work, but at least he's bringing in that paper to take care of that family, you know, true appreciation. Anyways, when I was 20, we had gotten back together, and for my 21st birthday, because we were together, I decided to give him my virginity in thoughts that I didn't want to lose him again because I wasn't putting out, and that, you know, that would be that way. Needless to say, didn't matter how much we did it. No matter how many times a day, he was still out sleeping with the fucking entire county. I'm down in Jersey at my grandfather's funeral, and he's caught in his truck banging some bitch at the fair. I mean, type of status, alright? He was out everywhere getting him some, and I was sitting at home, lying next to him at night, and wondering why I felt like I was so alone when I'm supposed to be in love that relationship was till almost 2 years, by 3 days shy of 2 years. And anyways, the one thing I can say on the positive side about him is that he insisted to me that a man should never put his hands on me. Ever. And that I also had to accept the fact that if we were ever out in public or whatever, and some guy were to put his hands on his woman, especially a woman that is not the type to be defensive with herself, fight back, like one that, it's just straight abuse. I mean, there are some women that they can swing harder than the man can, and they like the fucking fight, and that's on them. And if that woman gets swung on, well, that's on her. But if it's a defenseless type of woman, the type that, a man puts his hands on her and it takes her down, that he was going to walk away and he was going to go take care of business. And probably with 5 other guys, because let's face reality, where I'm from, that's how it was. Anyways, point of the story is I never thought I'd let anybody ever put their hands on me. So when I got into this 4-year-long relationship at 28, it was kind of surprising to me that I didn't leave when I first experienced physical abuse, and he did put his hands on me. And I couldn't fully understand. I mean, prior to that relationship, I never understood why women can't get out of abusive relationships. Hence why this relationship actually was a really massive lesson for me. Because now I understand on a much deeper and more sincere level, and it makes it so I can relate and be more helpful in advice and just helping people out when they go through shit now. Needless to say, a little bit of a rundown of some of the things that I experienced during that 8 years. Or 8 years. It feels like 8 years. Anyways, 4 years was, he did put his hands on me physically. I had this dog that, we had a Pomeranian. Her name was Tequila. And another Pom came into the property, and I decided to take this Pomeranian in. Now, he looked like Tequila, so, 2 tequilas, 2 kilos, taquitos. I named him Taquitos. Well, Taquitos had spent his entire life with a single mother and father family, and he was a mama dog, he was mama's dog, and mama died. And so he was weird about males, but he was even weird about, new people, and, losing his mom was not, we're talking about a dog that was now 9 years old and has never known anybody but his mama and his dad. And so I took him in anyways, and he had this little thing about he would nip. Now, mind you, we're talking about a little Pomeranian. I swear this dog, at his hardest bite, could even cause indents in your hand, okay? Well, he would constantly nip at my ex. And my ex would constantly overreact at this. And I kept saying to myself, I'm like, he's going to be the reason why my dog dies. And when he kills my dog, it's going to be my reason to live. Or leave. Right? Yeah, well, I came back home one night with him, and we found, garbage speared all over our little apartment space, and because him and the other dog had gotten into the trash, and, dogs will be dogs. And I went off into the other room, and I was sitting there, and I watched him grab the dog by his, and hold him down like this, on the ground. And I watched him punch this Pomeranian in the head in front of my eyes twice. And I saw the blood, the airy bubble blood coming out of his nose. And I knew instantly that he just fucking killed my dog. And this is supposed to be my thought, my getaway, my escape reason. And instead, for whatever reason, because of the type of person that I am, I suddenly become worried more about the man I am with, psychological and mental state over the scenario, and I became worried for his psyche, and I told him his own excuse. I even used that excuse when I told people what happened. But the truth is he killed my dog in front of me. One time he left me out in California. Now, mind you, I am from the East Coast. I moved out to Nevada when I was 28. And I have now been out here for 10 years. And one of my, we took a couple day trips or a couple different road trips out to Cali. We ended up taking a lot of trips out to Cali later on as things progressed, but this was near the beginning of things, or near the beginning of the first year, after the 5 months, but before the first year was over. Well, we got into an argument and he took off and left me on the side of the road. Now, I don't know where the fuck I am. I don't know anybody. My phone is about to die. I do not have a charger on me, and I have no clue where I am. I have no clue how I'm going to get home. All I could think is I'm going to have to try to follow this highway and walk, and I'm just bawling my eyes out, and I'm trying to plan on how the heck I'm going to do this with no money, nothing. Just stranded completely. And about 20 minutes, a half hour later, he finally comes back and tells me that I can go home or can get in the vehicle, but in the stipulation that I have to allow him to spit in my face. And when I tell you that, I allowed this man to spit in my face for 4 fucking hours straight, just so I can get back to the place I was calling home, because I had no other way. And I'm not good with not knowing people, and I'm not good with not knowing where I'm at, and I'm not, even this video is something that's new for me. And yeah, I wanted to get back home that badly that I allowed that. Him and I had started a business together at one point, and I had invested X amount into one part of the business, and he was investing his own money into another part of the business. Well, at some point there, I had used my part of my business funds to pay $500 towards, bills, $500 towards getting my car fixed, and I had even let him borrow money towards his part of the business, leaving me about $169 or whatever. And I was like, well, I'm not really all that worried about it. I can, do what I gotta do, and give me a week. By the end of the month, I'll have all my money back. In my mindset, it's not that hard to flip that. But he saw what I had left and told me that blah blah blah. Now, mind you, we're talking about somebody that stopped giving me my part of my payments for my part of the product that I was selling. And he wasn't giving me what was supposed to be given to me, for one. I just covered everything that we had to cover without his help, and helped cover him. And he took my $169 and took that money and took my part of the business away from me and took control of everything. Now, for the last 2 years of the relationship, not the very last year, but the year before that, we had relations 3 times in 1 year. And the very last year, we had relations once. That's 4 times in 2 years. Now, mind you, I am dating a guy that is 10 years younger than me. So, how many men that young of age can go that long without any? Something wasn't right. And I knew something was up, but I'm the type of person, I have to have proof or some type of evidence, because I can't just accuse, because that's just not in my nature. Anyways, my favorite though was another time he was going out to Cali without me, and he was worried about not having enough money to buy, the stuff that we were buying. and I had $100 bill left. I had just left my other job now. Now, mind you, I'm still working with him despite not getting any money. I'm working a full-time job at Burger King, where I started. Well, they wanted to hire me as manager, but I said I don't want to do that. I'd rather start from the bottom and work my way up. I left there as a manager within a year and 3 months. Anyways, and I learned everything. I could do everything in that place by the end. But that's the point. But I handed in my last 100, and I said, if you do not need it, please give it back to me. This is the last 100 I have left, and I would rather not have any. Like, I would really like to have some type of money until my next endeavor, or whatever. Well, around 10:30 at night, I get a phone call from him, and I'm sitting at the dining room table, and I'm sitting with what I thought was my family. Of course, it's my karmic family, and a whole bunch of crazy ass other bullshit, but let's not go down that scenario at this moment. And he calls me with this story of how he fell asleep at the gas station, and the window was open when he fell asleep. Apparently somebody reached in and pulled everything out of his wallet and threw everything down on the ground, but they took that 100 and it's gone, and that there was blood on his arm, and apparently he had a cut on his arm, and because he didn't know where the blood was from, and it made him nervous or whatever, he goes, we probably shouldn't have sex until I get an STD test done. And of course I played this off on the phone like, okay, I understand. And the moment I get off the phone, I turn and I look at everybody at the table, and I said, he got a fucking hooker. Lo and behold, I was fucking right. I have this thing where I sometimes just seem to just fucking, I call it my knowing. I just know things. I don't know how I know these things, but I know it. I see it, and I'm right. And, yeah. Needless to say, when I did finally come down and find my evidence, which was 2 other phones on top of his main cell phone that I found stashed away. Now, mind you, he isolated me. He didn't want me to see people. Like, we were selling my mom a camper that we had purchased for like $500, and we were going to sell it to her for $500, and because him and I were fighting, that meant that my mom had to pay $1,000 now, or, you know, because we were fighting, he should break that new little fucking glass bubbler, that dab rig that I bought the day before, because we were fighting. And like, he would do things where he would, like, at least 5 out of 7 nights a week, he would roll over, start to initiate something, and then roll back over and go back to sleep. Through all this, still putting his hands on me, still being very aggressive, mean, spitting in my face, just rude. Now, mind you, I would run for him every fucking night to pick him up food. I could go to all he had to do was tell me the fast food place he wanted food from. And this was becoming a nightly routine, and it would happen somewhere between 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. range, usually, at the latest. And all he had to do was tell me where he wanted me to go, and only if he was switching up his usual did I need to be told what he was going to order. Now, mind you, we're talking about somebody I was together with for 4 years, and after 4 years, he still didn't know that I did not want onions on my double cheeseburger. Come on now. But I could go to any fast food place in town and know exactly what to order and not have to, you know, deal with that. I did everything I could for him. I'd spent, 14 plus hours working on product packaging and whatever, and setting it up and whatever, as he was out just running around and doing whatnot. I was making most of the sales on top of that, while dealing with him and his fucking bitching about everybody that we fucking sold to. I'm like, this is our business. These are our customers. Like, this is what we do. And, that too, he would buy me things just so that when we would fight, he'd be able to take it back from me. He did that a lot. And, I mean, there was so much more that happened throughout all of that, but honestly, I've forgiven all this already, and I've released this all already because I forgive him, and at the same time, I now thank him because I now know what it's like to go through abuse and why women cannot get out of it, because you become less than. And it's not until you realize that you're more than that you realize that you're not less than. But at one point, I'll have to do another video on how mentally low I actually got during that relationship. Like, how fucked up he had me. And I mean, he had me fucked up. And I also will explain what happened and what I did to turn things around and how I managed to get myself out of that in the end. And it wasn't until he lost me that he realized that he lost something great, and that now I'm irreplaceable. I am a one of motherfucking kind, and most women won't deal with the shit that I will deal with. But because I have this thing about seeing people's potential, and I know that they have it there, I believe that they can grow into it. Not that I can fix them, but that if their potential is there, then I don't see why they can't grow into it. But none of them ever did. Just like the guy I lost my virginity to after 2 years, well, almost 2 years, and I just knew he was cheating on me, and somebody said to me, I never found evidence on that one. He was pretty quick about it, but a good friend of his and I turned to me, and she said to me, she goes, I would lie for him if he asked, but he didn't ask. With that being stated, I can't confirm or confirm anything for you, but I can say this much to you. A woman's intuition is always right. Your intuition is always right. And that was what I needed. And during the breakup process, I wrote him a letter, and then I looked him in the face, and I said, I know you've been cheating on me, and I can't take it no more. And it hurts me, because I have been nothing but loyal through all of this. Now, mind you, I am loyal to a fault, by the way. You can do me the dirtiest, and I do not have it in me to cheat or, do wrong. I mean, if I love you, I fucking love you. And mind you, I love everybody, but a lot of people don't deserve my love. I still love everybody anyways, because you know what? The whole world needs love anyways. But, and he looks me dead in my eyes, he goes, I never cheated on you. And that was the day I wrote my own quote saying, you could have kept me with the truth, but you lost me with a lie. And boy, that one had a fun twist too. Yeah, there's a couple of different stories to tell there too. But coming up on the almost 29 minutes in, I don't want to keep you all more than 30 minutes with my unscriptedness, but I want everybody to know that I fucking love you all. Love and light to the fucking world. I pray that this collective keeps on growing, and I pray that we keep raising this vibration to the highest it motherfucking can be, because you know what? There is nothing we cannot do if we do not put our minds to it. I know that's for damn straight with me. I've been able to do anything and everything I've ever put my mind to. And I am... Well, that's for the next video, I guess. Love and light. Lots of love to everybody. I love you all. Take care and forgive, release, transmute, and empower become stronger. Life is nothing but lessons, and lessons are nothing but blessings. Blessings meant to teach us in every single way, every single day. For to become godlike is to acquire knowledge. The more knowledgeable you become, the closer to godlike you become. I'm going to have to come up with some catchy catchphrase of my own to say at the end of these things, but for now, this was Cece, aka Mystic Love. I hope the mystics of love find y'all.